Hello there, what's going on everybody? It's time to break your Armada collections out of their exile. Armada is far from dead, and we've got a new surprise wave yesterday, and I know that there's some haters out there saying, you don't call this a wave, I call this a wave. A new ship for every faction, 3 new squadrons, all available instantly. We're going to talk about Rapid Reinforcements 1 in today's video. If you guys are new here to the channel, we do giveaways all the time. I'm currently doing a giveaway for a Shadow Collective a starter box for Star Wars Legion in the form of a $70 Amazon gift card. So of course you could use this for more Armada or whatever it is you want. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Plus, we've got giveaways going on in Discord and on Patreon right now as well. So be sure to check all of the links that are in the description below. But I want to talk to you about the Rapid Reinforcements pack. Already has been updated. If you guys watched my live stream yesterday, we talked about this quite a bit. A very, very happy time to be an Armada player, but then again, it may not be what everybody wanted. So I'm gonna gush at first, and then I will acknowledge some of the naysayers towards the end of the video, because I know that some people wanted more than this, and I understand that. But I'm also very, very pleased that we got something, and I'm very, very pleased that we got what we got. Because it was more than I expected. So very cool stuff. So if you missed yesterday's live stream, if you didn't catch up on all the news, we did get a new announcement from Atomic Mass Games for Star Wars Armada on their documents section, which is hard to find if you are looking, but I will put a link in the description below because they just don't have it on their website. Again, this is going to be something that gets rectified once the all-new website is finally updated. We don't know when that's going to be. It could be as early as May, could be as late as maybe June-ish, so we don't really know. But they dropped a new PDF, a print-and-play expansion for Star Wars Armada called Rapid Reinforcements 1. It has new ship cards, new squadrons, basically alternate uses for things that you already have, and it's perfect. It's a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about for a long time. Now, there's 2 main things that I want to lead with. First thing is, if you caught it early in the day yesterday, you saw the overpowered version of Darth Vader. There was a misprint. There were 2 versions of this, and they posted, I guess, the wrong one first. These things happen. I'm totally cutting them some slack. I'm not even going to give them a hard time over that. They very quickly updated it and posted the corrected version. So this is the corrected version of Darth Vader. Now, the cool thing about that, and again, I'm being a big optimist right now because you know I love Armada, and I am willing to overlook little human errors like that because I make human errors all the time. We all do, and that's fine. But the positive spin on this is that it goes to show how quickly they can change something if it needs to be changed, or if it, like they changed something already. So if this version of Darth Vader ends up being super, super, super powerful, then they can quickly say, all right, here's another version. Here's the new PDF, and he is 4 points more expensive, or 5 or 10 points more expensive, or whatever. Or that ability is too strong. Let's change it. Boom, here you go. So I like that, especially if it's something print and play. Now, a lot of people have asked also, hey, if this is print and play, does this mean that they're going to also release it as physical product? That is a great question. We don't have an answer to that right now, but I think it's definitely possible because that is something that AMG has done in the past. They will give you something print and play to hold you over until a physical product comes out. My guess, however, is that since this is Rapid Reinforcements 1, we're likely to get Rapid Reinforcements 2, and even more than that, maybe even a 3, maybe even more than that. And that would be a great opportunity to kind of put all of the Rapid Reinforcements packs together in one either big card pack, or potentially pair up some of these new ships with repackaged or repainted ships to go with this. So it's very, very possible we can get a lot more for Star Wars Armada, and this is a really, really nice opening helping. Like if you're hungry and you're at a restaurant and you're waiting for your food to arrive, and all of a sudden they bring out an appetizer, but it's like a big plate of nachos, enough nachos to split between like 7 people, and it's just you and one other person, and you're like, whoa, we got a lot of nachos. It's like when Olive Garden brings you the breadsticks, but they bring you like 3 bowls of breadsticks, and you're like, these are such good breadsticks. That's kind of what this is. It's like really, really good breadsticks. And there's also Alfredo dipping sauce. That's kind of like what this is. So what I have done because I'm not a big fan of the updated kind of card format where you've got half the information on the back. Is I went ahead and I spent a large part of the day yesterday reformatting these cards. I've posted them to the Facebook group, to my website. If you go to Crabbok.com, you're going to see all of the new cards there as well. And so this is the version I'm going to talk about because it has all the information on one side. And so if for those of you who like this version of the cards, those are available on Crabbok.com right now. I also have them pinned in the Discord. They're on a lot of places. I posted them on a lot of different social medias and stuff like that, Reddit and all these other places. So, but they're all collected on Crabbok.com if you want to go there too. Plus, you should head over to Crabbok.com periodically anyway. Check and see if there's new stuff. There's the Armada AI expansion. You should always go and check that out. So we've got the Venator 2 class Star Destroyer. It's got the Bombard keyword. First off, let's start from the top and work our way down because there's a whole lot of cool things here. First off, it's a Venator for the Empire, which is great. It's a no-brainer. It's an easy one to do, and I love that they're just saying, hey, this makes perfect sense. Let's do it. The Venator 2 is very cool that it's a Venator 2 also. Like they would have had later Venators in the Empire, right? And they may eventually do another Venator for the Empire too, especially if they release this as a pack. Venator 2 makes a lot of sense that it would still be in service. Venators were in service for a long time during the course of the Empire, especially in the early days. A lot of the books talk at length about Venators. So it's very, very cool to see Venators finally show up in the Empire. But did you notice that there's a little dot in front of that V? It's a unique Venator 2 Star Destroyer. You cannot have more than one Venator 2 class Star Destroyers in your fleet. Now, if they eventually do a second version of the Venator, like an alternate ship card version of this, then perhaps you can have other Venators. But for right now, you can only run one Venator, which is kind of cool. It kind of gives you a little bit of a flavor of that, which I love it. It's cool. It's something different. That's thinking outside of the box, and I love that. They also gave it the Bombard keyword, in which no Imperial ships have any traits, right? That's an all-new thing that came out with the Clone Wars. We didn't have traits at all, and now all of a sudden there is a trait. Bombard doesn't currently do anything, but it certainly could. If we get new objective cards, it could be ships that have this certain keyword that could potentially do things. That could be something important. Right, there are certainly a lot of Clone Wars. All the Clone Wars ships have keywords or traits. I keep saying keywords, but they're called traits. And this was supposed to be another kind of a hook for upgrade cards and stuff. Maybe there will be more upgrade cards. Every ship card we got has traits on them. Even the Rebels have the whole trait block there. So it's definitely they're kind of taking one of the things that started under the Clone Wars under FFG, and they're kind of saying, hey, this is a new mechanic that gives us a lot of flexibility. Let's keep it moving forward. This does make me think, will we see at some point redone ship cards for the Empire and the Rebels that have traits kind of retroactively added? That would be kind of cool. So we have 9 hull, again, a blue and a black. We've got rainbow on the front. Basically, the stuff that's on the ship cardboard is unchanged. So the dice are unchanged and the arcs are unchanged. So you're literally going to use the same Venator 2 that you would use for the Republic. You're going to use that one. So your arc lines are going to be a little different, right? That's one thing. Like because the colors, like the color that's on that might be, like slightly, but don't worry about that. It's still a Venator 2. Now, there are some changes to the Venator 2, as you might know and love it. For example, 3 command, 3 squadron for engineering. So instead of having the big 5 squadron bay that a Republic Venator 2 has, this has a 3 squadron bay. Of course, the Venators were built for the Republic. They were built to house those type of squadrons. And since the Empire has a whole different kind of slew of squadrons, then maybe these aren't as optimally configured to support TIE fighters and TIE interceptors, so you kind of lose out on some of that functionality. Plus, it's an older class of ship by the time of the Empire, so therefore, I think that's good justification for it. Like, these worked a little bit better in the Navy that they were built for, and now they're kind of like leftovers, so they're a little bit antiquated, so a little bit of that functionality goes away, which is kind of cool. And of course, that's reflected in its slightly lower point cost when you compare it to other Imperial class Star Destroyers. Of course, it is a large ship, but it's only 100 points, which is very cool. Now we have a brace, a redirect, a contain, and a salvo, making this as the second Imperial ship to have a native salvo, the other one being the Onager. So again, we have a native salvo on this, plus a defensive retrofit, so that's kind of cool. We don't have to use those cards to get extra salvos, but we can if we would like. It gives us some really cool salvo capacity for the Empire. We have that same 3-speed. We have our turbo laser. We have 2 ordnance upgrades. Now this is very cool. We're going to be. I'll probably do some build ideas for this. I'll probably include these ships in how I do ship breakdown videos for Star Wars Armada. And we'll talk about these a little bit more in some of the different ways you can do this. But you don't really have ships for the Empire that have double ordnance. And so, the MC-75 for the Rebels does, and it allows for some cool things. I talked in my live stream yesterday, wouldn't it be really cool to run this as a very deliberate anti-squadron build? Like you could run flechette torpedoes and an ordnance where you fire again. So like very, very cool, fun potential for things. I like that. I like that quite a bit. And ordnance pods and flechette torpedoes is just one option. Alternatively, you could run, expanded launchers and assault concussion missiles if you want to really just make that front arc super deadly, right? You get like all kinds of cool stuff. Or external racks and expanded launchers, and that's like 17 more points. And now you get 4 extra black dice out the front, at least for a single shot. Just massive annihilation, everywhere. But you could go definitely anti-squadron with this. You've already got 2 anti-squadron dice. All right, now you've got defensive retrofit. You got a cool ship. You got offensive retrofit. Or sorry, not offensive. But you have defensive retrofit. You don't have the offensive retrofit, but that's okay. You have a weapons team, which gives you a ton of different options. You've got, of course, the officer slot as well. 4 shields in the front, 3, 3, and 2. It's nice. It looks nice. And I think the most important thing is it's a Venator for the Empire, which means you can take one of your Venator. What you should probably do is go out and pick up another Venator, if you can, and then just spray paint that thing gray, and that's your Imperial Venator now. Like, that'd be super fun. But you don't have to do that, right? Like, again, these are free expansions. If you've got a Republic Venator, you can run it with your Empire now. I love it. And the cool thing about this, too, is really good for people who play multiple factions. If you play only one faction, you're like, ooh, I got to buy across the aisle now. You might have to do that, but this is, or you don't have to. You don't have to run these ships at all, but you'll have new opponents. You'll have new fleets to fly against also, because maybe you will face one of these in an Imperial fleet. Moving next is the Providence class carrier that has 2 new traits on it, comms and transport. This also, much like the Imperial Venator, is unique. The Rebels are getting a leftover from the Clone Wars, from the Separatist fleet. Of course, that kind of makes sense. There were definitely lots of cases in the books where the Rebels had Separatist ships. There was actually a Providence class that had a very specific title that was thrown out during the live stream, but there's no titles available for any of these yet, with the exception of actually the Venator 2 could, in theory, take the 7th Fleet, because it is a Star Destroyer and it is Imperial. All the other ships, the titles do have, like right around here next to like their points. So when you look at the titles, they have a little faction symbol. So not going to be able to just willy-nilly put titles everywhere. So that there was good future thinking. Again, Armada has always been very, for the most part, been very future-proof. Not perfect, but very, very well thought out. And this is just a great application of that. So the Providence class carrier has, again, comms and transport on it. Those don't mean anything just yet, but they may. 3 command, only 2 squadron for engineering. Some people were like, wait, we're getting another large ship for the Rebels? Yes, you are. But this one's such a weird one. Look at this upgrade bar down here. Look at that upgrade bar. Again, it's another salvo, and you don't have to run a Starhawk to get a salvo. And again, it's also got 3 dice in the rear, so good, strong salvo ship. We got weird upgrades here, though, right? We got no ordnance, we got no ion cannon, we got no turbo laser. So how do we build this thing, right? You build this thing this is just wild. This is just a wild card kind of a ship. You can run 2 officers, which is unique, 2 weapons teams, which is unique, 2, well, maybe not unique. It's not completely unique, but it's rare. 2 offensive retrofits, which is also rare. 2 support teams, which has never been seen before. So there's like so many. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this particular ship breakdown. One interesting aspect is since you have 2 weapons teams and 2 offensive retrofits, you could actually run 2 boarding teams, which take up basically both of those. And so like wouldn't it be? I mean, and maybe that's one of the things you do with this ship is you run 2 boarding teams. You also lose a speed compared to the normal Providence. You don't have the same speed 3 capability. But what you gain is, of course, with your 2 support teams, you can put engine techs on there, and then you still have another, support team that you can. Oh my gosh! This one is just boggling me, and it's so fantastic. It's so much fun to have all new list building ideas and things that were never before possible. This brings to the game. So I love what they've done with this ship. It's so much fun. I'm thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Let's see what else we got. We got the Victory Star Destroyer finally shows up for the Republic. This one is not unique, so you can run multiple victories. I know lots of you guys have more victories than you want. So a Victory 1 class Star Destroyer, not a Vic 2. I know a lot of people were thinking the Vic 2 is going to bring the ion cannon finally into the Republic. Not happening today. Not happening today. But this is a different kind of Vic 1 than we've seen in the Empire. Again, it was already an old ship by the time it hit the Empire, so it stands to reason the Vic 1 would have been a little bit stronger under the Republic, for which it was made. And we're seeing that it still has the 8 hull. We do lose a redirect, and we gain a salvo. So a Victory with a built-in salvo. You're seeing it. It's amazing. It's one of the things I missed the first time I looked at this. It's a 334, and it's still got the same movement profile, still the same dice profile, still the same shield profile. We got some 75 points here, and we've got very different upgrades. And this is cool. This is going to be a very flyable ship, I think, because you've got a support team built in. You don't have to take the Harrow title to try to get that support team for engine techs. You've got it built in, which means it's effectively a speed 3 ship if you're doing nav every turn, or if you have tokens. And again, you have Tarkin available for the Republic, so tokens shouldn't be a problem, right? Totally shouldn't be a problem. All right. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. I love Armada news. It's been a long time. We've got Weapons Team, which, again, this being a black dice delivery platform at its heart, you're going to probably want Ordnance experts on this, but you don't have to, but that's definitely an option. Of course, you have Officer, you have Offensive Retrofit, and you have 2 Ordnance slots, which is really exciting. 2 Ordnance slots is good because the other one, the Vic 1 under the Empire, had Ordnance and Turbo Laser. You can do very different things here. You can run that, flechette torpedoes and Ordnance pods if you want to. You can do weird things, and that's really fun. And of course, it has the clone keyword as well, so clone gunners can potentially go on this ship as well. And since it's for the Republic and it is a Star Destroyer, you can take this Fat T on this thing as well, which I think a lot of people are going to want to do. I think a lot of people are going to want to take this fat on it. And then we've got the Gazante class cruisers for the Separatists. This is just incredible. It's a different type of Gazante. Now, this is a Sea Rock. A lot of people have noticed, hey, it's a Sea Rock. Well, the Sea Rock and the Gazante were kind of like the same body. It's just just a different model. It's like a 2022 versus a 2017 model, right? So it's close enough, and it totally works. Although I swear, I saw a Mel Miniature posted yesterday. He's like, why am I seeing so many people all of a sudden buying Gazantes from my shop? And then, of course, he was like, oh, okay, that's why. So, yeah, it's still a 1-2-2. It's still got the same dice and shields as a Gazante normally has. It's still speed 3, still has the scatter, still 3 hull. It gains the droid keyword. But our upgrades are totally different. It's 27 points. It's got the ion cannon slot, which means lots of things. Ion cannon slot. Are you kidding me? You can buff the sides up by 2. You can increase the side shots by a blue dice on each left and right side. Of course, the left and right side aren't super wide, but it's something. You've got a weapons team on this thing. Like, what are you gonna? This is a little tiny gun platform. This is a combat Gazante, man. It's a combat Gazante. And I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. This one will be fun, and it's gonna fit pretty well in with what the Separatists are doing right now. They have a lot. They have 3 commanders that deal with ship-to-ship combat, and they need more shooty ships. That's one of the problems the Separatists have, is they don't have enough. Like a lot of their shooty ships are expensive. So now you got a cheaper shooty ship. Why am I keep saying that? And but 27 points. Again, you are limited to only 2 of these because it is a flotilla. While it's not unique, you still can only have 2. So you're not going to be able to spam these things, but it's very, very cool, and I'm super excited for it. We also got new squadrons. Separatists, by the way, did not get a new squadron. Unclear if there was maybe one that just wasn't ready, or they just said, no, 3 is the number. 3 is the number. So maybe they will at some point. Maybe the Separatists will get more stuff too, because I think they could use some help in the squadrons department, but it might make more sense for them to get help once they get new commanders that do squadron-specific stuff, because Grievous is kind of all they have right now. So yeah, the Separatists could use maybe a little bit of squadron help, but not too much, because I don't want them to run away crazy with those bombers. Speaking of crazy bombers, we got Darth Vader in a TIE Defender. He's got 2 red against ships with bomber, and Adept 2. He gets to reroll 2 dice. He's got 2 red. He gets to reroll them both. And hear me out. And you can also potentially run Bomber Command Center in here. And boom. Chicka chicka boom boom. Will there be enough room? At the top of the coconut tree. If you've got kids, you may have read that book to them. This is really nice. This one was initially a little like they had the wrong version, and it was a little bit broken because he had some extra stuff. So he has a brace and a scatter. He has a beautiful anti-squadron dice profile, 2 black, a red, and a blue. While attacking a unique squadron, each of his crit icons adds 1 damage to the damage total. Similar, but not the same as his original ability, which was just that his crits add 1, period. Because he didn't have Bomber initially. And so if you add Bomber and then that original Darth Vader with the crits add 1, you're like, woo! So this version only works against a unique squadron, so he's definitely an ace hunter, but he's good at everything. He's good at everything. So I love that. Again, he's got lots of potential to roll crits. He can potentially be attacking a squadron. He can roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage against another squadron, potentially. That's very, very high. Or 6 with an accuracy, just wonderful. Love him. And Adept 2 is so good here. And he's rogue. He didn't even need rogue, but I get it. It's thematic for him to be rogue. He's going to be really strong. He's going to be very competitive. I actually anticipate he will see a points cost increase. I could see him being over 30 points at some point. But it is worth noting that since he is Darth Vader, you have the opportunity cost of, if you run him, you can't have Darth Vader elsewhere in your build. And Darth Vader is so popular as an officer. So if you run him as a commander, you're losing the ability to run him as an officer or a commander or as his other squadron or as a boarding team or whatever. So, but this is a version that is probably worth it. He looks great. It looks really great. We got Hera Syndulla in an X-Wing, and I love this. So and she's just going to be great. She's also got a very, very nice dice profile. 1 black, 2 blue, and a red against squadrons. A black die against ships. She's also got bomber, double brace, 23 points. She has dodge 1, so she can force somebody to re-roll a die while she's defending. And while you are activated, friendly squadrons at distance 1 that have escort gain adept 1 until the end of the round. So she's making all your X-Wings. She really empowers other X-Wings, right? Like she really, really does. I absolutely love it. And I'm thinking to myself, she might also be good with Millennium Falcons, right? But not the Millennium Falcon. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I gotta, again, I'll be doing more individual detailed looks at all of these. This is gonna fuel Armada content for like the rest of the year. I'm so excited. Maybe get some and because these are all print and play and legal to run now. We can start printing them out and starting building lists and stuff and crazy stuff. And we got Anakin Skywalker, who's already a squadron in game, but now he's in a Delta 7. Maybe this is my least favorite card out of everything because because I really, really like Anakin in a Y-Wing. But he gains Scatter and Brace. He's a 4/4, 2 blue, 2 black, and then a black against ships. He got Adept 2, Counter 2, and Dodge 1. And while attacking a squadron, during your activation at the end of the resolve damage step, you may choose up to 2 enemy squadrons at distance 1 of the defender. If the defender was damaged, the chosen squadron suffers 1 damage. Now, he's going to work really well with Ahsoka, allowing him to attack twice. He could potentially get lots of extra damage on enemy squadrons that even if he doesn't attack them. So it's really good for certain squadrons that are either hard to hit or that have counter or that are obstructed or whatever, or that have scatters. He can just be like, no, you just take a damage for this effect. So it's like debris, or he's like doing ricochet attacks or something like that. It's cool. I think it's really cool. So he's got a very, very potent ability, but it's I don't think it's broken or overpowered because it's more situational, and I feel like I still like him better in the Y-Wing, but I don't run Republic enough to really make that determination. I feel like this is very much on par with his Y-Wing persona, but it's kind of cool that you can run him in a Delta 7, so it's nice to have him both ways, although we still want to see him in an ETA 2 at some point, but that would require a new squadron pack, and hopefully that's coming, since it does seem like there is a renewed interest at Atomic Mass Games from releasing Armada news and releasing Armada products. We've got the OP kit coming soon. Of course, I'll be talking to you guys more about that when it comes. This is just super exciting. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I just wanted to run through all of this stuff for anybody who missed the live stream. If you want to go back and watch yesterday's live stream, it's out there, and I kind of gush a lot more over this, even though I'm still gushing. I did say I was going to talk about my nitpicks. I don't have many. The little nitpicks. Darth Vader seems kind of strong. It can be a little bit nitpicky that some people might have to buy a ship that was in a faction that they didn't play to get access to this. Oh no, we're going to sell more product and make the game even more popular. And of course there is the nitpick that like people were wanting a whole new physical wave, and I get that, but this is really a good, strong step in the right direction. It really is. So I'm a big fan of this. I would love to see more stuff like this. I'd love to see new ship titles, new commanders, new upgrades, all kinds of stuff like that. I love this, and I hope I will, even though it's print and play, absolutely advocate buying it when it physically comes out and get the physical product. Absolutely. I don't like having to print and play my own stuff. I would much rather support AMG for supporting Armada, and I would rather pay to get the stuff, because that's my way of saying, yes, I vote for what you're doing. Keep doing it. Thank you guys. Thank you, AMG. Thank you, everybody that worked on this. And thank you all for watching. Big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I will talk to you soon. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And I will, I'll make sure to always keep the force with me as long as you keep the force with you.